Developer jobs are something that appear to be scarce, but there might be some light at the end of the tunnel. We had a recent episode, recent full length episode regarding there was an uptick in there's some job numbers, and we just did an overall good news episode that went
Mhm.
beyond just those job numbers. And we have a tweet here or an X post, whatever you want to call it. Man, tweet was so good,
I
and now
know
it's just
it's
like
I hate it. Yeah,
this
a
post
tweet.
on
Still,
X.
still, still call it a tweet. It's fine.
Still call it a tweet. So this tweet also giving us a little bit more good news. So in this edition of the web news, we're going to be unpacking this. I'm just going to read the tweet. It's very, very short. This is from Kalshi. Just in, job postings for software engineers on Indeed reached new 6-month high. And there is a response down here from someone named Devarsh. And it said, what a comeback. And it shows this Fred. This is a screenshot of a Fred graph. I haven't confirmed if this is real myself. I didn't go on Fred and take a look. But it's showing that in 2022-ish, it really peaked and it goes way down to a plateau. And now it's just this little uptick. And that's what we're talking about now.
So I think the uptick, the reason that I don't like that Fred graph right now is that, first of all, it's obviously showing a ridiculous contrast between the ridiculous hiring period that we had during COVID. But the uptick is actually a more significant uptick than we think, because this has been happening month over month, right? So it's not like a 1 month thing. It's not like a 2 month thing. This is now the third month that we've seen the uptick continue to happen. And it's we're seeing this happen during layoffs, right? So there are people that are getting laid off en masse as well.
En masse, quite a lot.
En masse, yeah. Now, the en masse layoffs in the grand scheme of things actually don't affect the market as much as we think. It's just a really big number that we look at. The reality is that there's a lot more jobs. There's a lot more companies that are hiring as well. But it is a scary thought. And from my own personal perspective, it's scary to see all these layoffs happen, because you're competing with all those people that are being laid off. And some of those people are definitely developers. It's not the layoffs aren't all developers, obviously, but there's definitely a significant amount of developers being laid off on a consistent basis. For example, I think Facebook announced that they might be laying off 20% of their company, which is actually a lot of people. They haven't done that yet. They have not done that yet, but there's been multiple other layoffs that have happened over the last month or so. But having something to look at where there are more jobs coming up, and anecdotally, while I've been scrolling on X recently or scrolling LinkedIn, I am seeing more and more jobs as well pop up. So I am seeing this anecdotally personally, and we're seeing it in the numbers as well. So there's something going on there. We also know that remote jobs are less common nowadays than they were back in that trend, right? So yeah, it's a little bit harder to get a remote job, but just seeing any positivity, any uptick is good. And I think we could talk a little bit about why we think, this seems ridiculous to talk about, but to say, but why we think jobs are actually going up. What do you think is happening? Do you have
I have a
theories?
thought. Without having done a bunch of research into this, having just sort of seen sentiments on X and other social medias and talked to people and things, my sentiment might be that there was an overcorrection. So if we look through the history, which is not that long ago, during COVID, I mentioned there's that huge peak in hiring, and that's an anomaly on the graph, right? There's huge peak in hiring, and let's say just roughly 2020 through 2023 or so was just this crazy period for dev jobs because COVID happened, and that was an anomaly in and of itself. And then we had a correction where a bunch of companies realized that they had brought on too much talent. They didn't need it. And so they started getting rid of people. And we had reports of people during that hiring period being brought into companies and then not being given any tickets, not being given anything to do. They were just sort of going through company training, or they were kind of messing around and not due to any fault of their own. They weren't being given work, because really what was happening was big companies, and any company, I guess, was worried about all the tech talent being taken away because everything was being remote. Nothing was being done in person anymore because everyone was sheltering in place in various jurisdictions. Obviously, it varied. and that they were worried about the tech talent pool being drained, and they were just trying to lock it down. I need all these AI guys. I need all these database guys. I need all these IT people. I need all these, I need all these people. And then we saw it correct. I would say that in a much less grand scale, we're seeing another correction like this. AI comes out, and of course, all the AI companies need VC funding. So they come out, and every 6 months, it's a meme now where they say all software engineers are going to be gone in 6 months. All software engineers gone in 6 months. If you're not coding with AI, you're a fool. Get rid of your software engineers. Get rid of this. Get rid of that. Get rid of your marketing teams. Get rid of everybody. Get rid of them. What do you do? And get rid of them. This, of course, could be true at some point. Maybe it's been more than 6 months, and every 6 months it happens. Maybe eventually it'll be true. Who knows? But what we're seeing, I think, is that people have realized it's been a couple of years since this 6-month goal has been stated over and over again every 6 months, that we're now seeing a correction where people are going, I'm not waiting for this AI to get better anymore. I just need more people. I need more people to get this done. My business is growing, or my business is changing, or whatever. I just need to get this done.
I think that's right. I think there was a lot of speculation, business going down, and about the fact that developers aren't needed as much, and there was some preemptive layoffs that happened because of that. And I don't think that was en masse. I think really, if we're looking at it from a broader perspective, not just talking just in tech, because developers work across the entire spectrum, right? What I think it is that there's a lot of uncertainty in the economy. And there was a lot of uncertainty in the economy. There still is, for sure.
I kind of feel like there always is going to be now or something. I don't know.
It's very possible. But the reality that I'm also seeing is that even through the uncertainty, the economy is kind of going. And with that being said, companies are finally like, okay, we're halfway through the uncertainty essentially now. We might be stabilizing at some point in certain areas. Maybe that stabilization is now leading companies to be a little bit more aggressive in bringing on new people. Because a lot of times layoffs happen not because not because they don't have money. It's like right now layoffs are happening because they want to show better books. So, less spend, more income for their shareholders. And a lot of times companies stop hiring not because they don't have the money to hire, but because they don't know what the next 6 months is going to hold or the next year is going to hold.
Sure.
They're starting to get some predictability back, so they're able to expand that out a little bit. So they're slowly starting to increase the faucet of like, okay, let's spend more on R&D. Let's spend more on these projects that we couldn't spend more on before. AI might be increasing productivity, so we can try to use those people to do more things. I think there's more of that sentiment going on. It's an economical thing rather than exactly related to AI.
Well, the thing is, though, actually, to build on your point, it's very possible that that the people that were enamored by the whole get rid of your software engineers, maybe they didn't lay off. Maybe they did a hiring freeze.
Yes.
So now this number of job postings from each individual company that was enamored by this goes down. And then they realize, like you're saying, I want to be bullish on an idea, or I just need more people. And I've been trying to use this AI thing and trying to make my 6 developers work like 12. And I just can't do it with this stupid AI thing. And they keep saying 6 months, 6 months. I'm out of here. Let's go. And that is to your point as well, right? Like, I know it's speculation by us, of course, because every company is different, every jurisdiction and country and everything's going to be different. But I wouldn't be surprised that there's going to be people out there that were completely enamored. I mean, we saw this with Tesla. We saw this with Tesla with their gigafactories, or maybe there's one gigafactory, I don't know. But they wanted it to be fully like autonomous. And then there's like that tour video I watched 10 years ago or something, where Elon's walking through the factory. And I know Elon's controversial now. I don't follow his stuff or anything, and I drive like a 30 bajillion year old car. So, but the point is they were completely enamored by automation. All these machines are going to build these cars. It's going to be amazing. And then they realize that they need humans, because humans can see that the bolt went in slightly wrong and can quickly just adjust it without a second thought. Meanwhile, a machine goes, well, I went from point A to point B, so I'm just going to start screwing this bolt in now. And obviously I'm simplifying the problems they had, but that's what happened. And so again, if somebody as business tried and true, even back then, as Elon was enamored by something, absolutely people are going to be enamored by the idea that they can run this company like it's 12 people, but there's only 6. Or like there's 200, but there's only 100. Of course that's going to happen. So I think that actually does play into your point quite a bit, because now that people want to be bullish, or they're just sick of waiting, or they're just sick of waiting for the economy to crash. Okay, fine, let's go.
Yeah, you can only wait for so long until your company stagnates. That's the reality. Now, having said that, I'm looking further into these numbers, right? So the Fred graph that you mentioned early on in the episode, there is like a Fred index, and there's an index for specifically software development jobs postings on Indeed in the United States. I was able to extrapolate it out all the way to like essentially pre-COVID, so 2020, February 8th, 2020. And that's where the index kind of is that's the baseline of the index, that's the 100. And right now we're still well below that. We're
Okay.
still well below the pre-pandemic postings. We're at like 70% of it around. That's how this index works. So we're at 70%. Our lowest point was 60% in 2025, in May 2025, around 60. So, but we are gaining on it. And I think if we keep looking forward, if it continues to grow and gets back to the levels of pre-pandemic, that's where I feel like we're going to start feeling more normal.
Right.
Because pre-pandemic, let me be clear, like the market was still very competitive, but it wasn't that crazy to, leave your job and get another job fairly quickly. And for a developer, it still took time, it still took connections, but it was fairly normal for that to happen. Nowadays, not the greatest time, even like, job postings are going up, but it's kind of tough. A lot of people are being more cautious, and they're staying at their jobs and, choosing safety over like a risky startup, for example. Like they'll choose a safer company over a risky startup nowadays. I
Sure.
think once we start to approach that 100 mark on the Fred graph, like back to where pre-pandemic jobs were for developers, we'll start to see some cool things happening in the developer market, which I'm kind of excited about. Like I want the developer market to succeed. Let me be clear. I'm a developer. I'm an engineering manager right now. Like I want everyone to have a chance to, work at a cool company that they want to work at and choose to leave or choose to stay, like whatever they want to do, and not be afraid to lose their house if, they're laid off and stuff like that. Like this is what I want. So any positivity in that space, like anything that's going to push us up, I'm going to jump on and hope for the best. That's the
Well,
reality.
we actually, maybe I'm wrong here, but I would almost say we would want a sustainable slow growth back to the normality, and then obviously a continual growth moving forward. You wouldn't want there to be another anomaly like COVID, because COVID was crazy. You can even look at our podcast numbers. Our podcast numbers are the same graph. The numbers shoot up, our podcast numbers shoot way up, and then all of a sudden everything goes for, a shite, and then it goes right back down. And you and I were like, what has happened? And then eventually it plateaued, and we're like, oh, okay, so we lost listeners that were likely literally leaving the software engineering. It's almost like day and date, where you can see it just like ramp up like crazy. And we're like, holy, like, man, we're viral as heck here. Like this is sick. And then all of a sudden it's like, wait, what's happening? And we're trying to stop, stem the bleed, but then it's not really bleeding. There was an anomaly, and we were in it because we were in it.
Yeah,
So
it's why you shouldn't chase viral videos, is because that virality actually doesn't usually lead to more listens or anything like that. It's more just an anomaly on your graph that you actually have to compete against throughout the entire time. And I think it's sunk a lot more companies than it's helped. There are a lot more like podcasts and stuff like that than it's helped. So I think you're absolutely right. Looking at it again, it's uncanny how exact you are to that point where like it follows our stats exactly.
it is exactly. It is. I've checked
Exactly.
it multiple times. It
Yeah.
is exactly. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy. So it makes a lot of sense. There's some validity there. So yeah, I don't know. I thought that it would be good to jump on and talk about this as we see it. The more we see this, I think the more we'll talk about it, because I want there to be good news, and I want there to be a glimmer of hope at the end of the day. But
I actually
yeah.
have one question real quick. So
Mhm.
the pre anomaly
Yeah.
of COVID numbers was at 70% or something on the graph. What was that
100.
at? At 100. Okay.
Yeah, so it's the baseline.
It's the baseline.
So
So it's at
it's
100.
it's at 100, yeah.
Ignore the anomaly completely.
Yeah.
How far down are we now? You may
We're
have
at
said that, but I
70.
can't remember now. Sorry?
70.
I mean,
We're getting back up there. Like I said, 60 has been the lowest so far.
but here's the thing though, is 60's been the lowest, but this is almost good news in that, again, AI is supposed to replace everybody. Well, it hasn't even replaced half.
Well, yeah, it's not even, not even close.
But
to
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is like on paper, you would think everybody fire everybody, get rid of everybody, like get everybody out of here. But then the question is like, well, who's going to have money? And it becomes an economic disaster. But hasn't even been half. So, I mean, that sounds all right.
It hasn't started yet. In my opinion, the actual AI revolution, quote unquote, whatever you want to call it, has not begun. This is all still mostly economy driven. It's mostly following standard graphs with the anomaly being out of proportion. But I think once there's more stability in the world, right now there's a lot less stability, but we're seeing the economy power through stability, like or unstable environments, and that's, I think, is going to start the snowball of bringing more investments into traditional spaces, and money will start flowing back in.
We also, I mean, not to add a capstone of doom and gloom, but we haven't seen a true recession in a while.
That's true. We haven't. But
in fact, you and I haven't seen it in our working years. We've seen it in our lifetime, but we haven't seen it in our working years ever yet. The last big one is the 2008 financial crisis. Yes, there's been like the COVID downturns and stuff like this. There's been downturns, but there hasn't been a complete disaster of like a financial crisis as the 2008 whole situation. I'm not going to get into all that because I don't know enough about it. But we were in school during that.
Yep.
And so we have not. So many people are going to be in that same boat, obviously, because it's been so long. So it'll be interesting to see. Every year they say that next year's the recession. Every 6 months they say that all the web developers or just developers in general are going to be gone. I'd also like to say one quickly final point. This software engineer number includes game developers, right?
I'm assuming so. I don't know.
If it does, I'm big into games. Game development is in a terrible place. Games are shrinking. People are getting laid off like crazy just in games. And I know that that's always been a meme where it's like you work on a big project, it gets announced, it makes 10 bajillion quadruple badabada dollars, and then you get laid off.
Immediately.
I get it, but it feels like gaming is actually contracting because games are costing too much, they're taking too long, and so there's going to be a ton of people that make these things because they're complex, and if they're getting laid off too, that's going to skew the numbers as well, and in terms of the market at large, I guess.
I'm not sure if it does. It may be software development. It sounds like it would.
I would imagine
it would just be the programmers, though, not like the designers and all that stuff.
Correct. Yeah, just the software engineering guys. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I think hopefully you got some good news out of that. Obviously, don't take this with like financial advice. Like, still save, still important to have an emergency fund, etc., etc. But
be financially responsible.
Be financially responsible.
Just do that.
It's always nice to see some good news.
Absolutely. But I think that's it for the web news for this week. Some more good news, just off the cuff. I mean, the fact that we can get good news off the cuff is good news.
Yeah, right. Especially right now. Jeez.
So I'm down for it. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully this lifted your spirits potentially. And that's it. That's the web news for this week. We're signing off.
Goodbye.